Hello guys, and welcome to day 4 of Days of 1,000 Subs. Now today we're going to do something easy and fun, and we're not going to worry about engineering it perfectly. We're just going to design for fun. But at the end, I am going to give you a couple of tips on something that I also consider fun, but is very useful in product design. So without further ado, let's jump in. And I'm going to be starting an assembly, and I'll call it a Tensegrity coffee table. Now that's cool. I'm not going to be importing any parts because I'll design everything right in front of you. And I'll start by adding a part which I'm going to call a solid piece. That's right, a Tensegrity coffee table has a solid piece and non-solid pieces. Right? So let's go. Let's get a circle going in the XY plane, 80 centimeters. I'm just going to thin extrude it, and I'll say that this is 80 millimeters by 80 millimeters. So we've got a ring going here, and then I'll design on the ZX plane. I'm going to project the bottom face and reset my view. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to start a couple of lines here. I need them to be equal. Okay, and then I'll just make an arc. Yep, I want that tangent. I want the center point to be above the origin. I want the end point to be 150 millimeters from the bottom of this piece, which will be on the floor. And by the way, I also want the end point to be there. Okay, that's cool. Now let's get another arc going, make them concentric, make the endpoints vertical, and cap it off with a tangent arc. I'll just give it a 25 millimeter hole as well. I will extrude that with a tie tab move for, well, you know what, for 80 millimeters. Why not? Okay, now it's sticking out a bit here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this face, imprint it with my macro, Control A to select everything, B to make everything into a geometry, open my Harl bar and go for a swept cut. Now what's my path? Well, I'll go around selecting edges. Okay. And then I'll mirror this thing. And if I hide my sketches, I mean, look, that's a nice look to it, isn't it? I mean, wouldn't you pay for something like that? For a coffee table like that? Who knows? Okay, now I'm also going to do this, right? I want some eyebolts. I know, eyebolts in a coffee table. You will see, you'll see. So I want some eyebolts, so I'm going to make the holes for that, right? And we discussed the hole tool yesterday, so I'm just going to make a hole there, like so, and I want, okay, let me select the eyebolt first. I'm going into McMaster Car, eyebolts, metric. M8 is fine. Yeah, let's do stainless, and it's got 13 millimeters of thread length. Okay, that's cool. So I'll download that. And now that I know that I want an M8. Okay, let's see, did I download? Yes, M8 by 1.25. Okay, so that is the ISO coarse thread, right? The ISO fine thread is M8 by 1 millimeter. I'm putting this hole there. Now, I want the entire hole to be 3 times the diameter of the screw, of the thread actually, and I'll make the length of the threaded part twice that. And my eyebolt has 13 millimeters of thread, so that should be fine. There's my hole. Ah, actually, you know what? Let's make it drilled. Okay, but you know what? I did this by eye, right? It's pretty close, but it's still by eye. And I want it at the center of these ring. Now, I couldn't project when I have the hole tools open. Project to sketch is not available, but when I added the sketch at the hole tool creates. Now I can project, okay, and now I can create a reference line here and say that the center of this ring goes through that line, which is vertical, so that's defining that line perfectly. Okay, and then I'm just going to make this the midpoint. We're good to go. Now I want to pattern this 3 times, you know, around there. So you need to make sure that as you pattern, you don't get a hole to be underneath that arm, of course, or in the directly opposite location of that arm. That's why I did 3 for 120 degrees, and I'm good to go. And that's the solid piece of my table done. And now I'll duplicate it, right? I'm going to duplicate it, and then I'm going to give it a fastener constraint there, flip it around, and offset it by 70 millimeters. Okay, I can still wiggle this around, which means that I need to make these two faces coincident. Now I'm fully assembled. Still doesn't look like a table. Let's press on. So we'll insert our eye bolt. Okay, fastener constraint there. And by the way, I know a threaded hole in wood. You know, let's pretend there's an insert there. I mean, again, this design is for fun. So what I want to do now is I want to make this plane and that plane. Yeah, I want to make them parallel. Okay, that works. That works. Now I need to duplicate this and make another fastener constraint to the hole directly above it. And let's make sure that the orientation is the same. I want this plane and this plane to be parallel. There you go. Cool. And now I've got 2 eye bolts there. So what do you do with 2 eye bolts in a coffee table? These are questions that you're only going to hear on my channel, right? What do you do with 2 eye bolts in a coffee table? Well, you put a wire around them. So let's make a new part, and we're gonna call it the wire. Now, you know what? I want some info on the eyeball that I chose. So let's go to product details. Okay, so the inner diameter is 20 millimeters. The outer is 16. So that's a difference of 36. So that's a difference of 16, which means that that is an 8 millimeter thick eyeball. Okay, so now I'll start sketching on this plane. I'm going to bring in these edges there. I will connect them to the reference line. Okay. So what am I going to do now? Well, we're designing for fun. So I'm going to start the spline. And I'm going to make a spline. Looks like the way the wire would wrap around it. Then I'll just make a small line there. You know what? I'll connect these two and I will try and make them tangent. This spline and this line. Yeah, I thought I wouldn't do it. Okay, let's leave everything unconstrained. Make it tangent. Okay, got my tangent. Now, oh no. Now I want to make my spline look as good as, possible. Like a wire wrapping around there. Okay, so now I will lock this single point make this. Yeah, there you go. Ah, you know, maybe I shouldn't have tried so hard before I did that. Okay. That still looks decent, right? And now I'm going to make this point and this coincident. I will remove this lock and instead lock the entire spline. And I'm going to get another line going here. I'll just make these two equal so everything is fully defined. And I will select my spline, mirror it around this line. Cool. And if I finish my sketch now, yeah, it's an open sketch, I know. But look, it's the path to a wire. And so I will click on the insert plane command. It instantly goes to along a sketch. It knows, it selects it automatically. I'll hit apply, start a circle on that plane. Where's my origin? Oh, there's my origin. Do a circle on that origin for 3 millimeters, and then do a sweep between that and that. Ah, it doesn't like the 3 millimeters. Okay, let's not change it from in there. I'm going to be showing my sketches. I know that something's going on there. Okay, there you go. How did I do that? How did it end up so badly over here? We'll fix that later. For now, you know what? I think I know where the problem is. To make this out a bit more. Yep, I didn't do that very well. So let's reconnect our reference line here. I want to lock that. Let's redo our mirror. Why is that going off center? You know what? Here and make sure this is in the center. Yeah, there you go. Okay. And now I can just connect the two without this line. Okay, click OK, and I got my wire. Okay, that was a journey. Guys, I'm gonna leave that all of that in. We're designing for fun, so we need to see all of the pitfalls and whatnot. So, that's our wire done. Okay, we made our wire. Okay, and now we're going to take all of that and the circular pattern 3 times, all the way around. So we've got 2 solid pieces floating in midair and 3 pieces of wire holding them together, but it's wire, right? You can't stand this thing up with these pieces of wire. But you know what? Here's where the tensegrity part comes in. I'm going to design a chain and shackle as a single piece. Again, we're having fun here. And as you put weight on this top surface, the top solid piece will want to go downwards. That center chain and shackle is going to hold it, right, from going downwards. And these 3 wires, when tensioned, all they're doing is that they're not allowing it to pivot, tilt, or whatever, because if you want to tilt one way, you're tensioning 1 or 2 of these wires. So wires hold tension, right? So the center shackle holds the weight, and these wires get tensioned when this tries to go out of alignment. So that's how the Tensegrity table works. We're going to call this chain and shackle. I'll design here. I'll start with the pin. I'll bring this in, give it a 20 millimeter pin. Sorry, yeah, good. Mid plane, 150 millimeters. Okay. Again, this is not real, right? I'm not going to make every part of the shackle and the threads, and I'm just making it to look good. And we'll see why I'm doing that in the end. So I'll get a plane going here. Let's say, so that's 80, I got 150. The difference is 70, 35, either side. 15 millimeters. I need that in reverse, yes. I'm going to draw on that plane, and I'll bring this in, center arc, right? Center arc, and let's make these two horizontal. You'll see where this is going. I'm sure it's a bit weird right now, but you'll see where this is going. I'll make this flat spot 15. I'll make this flat spot 15. No, not 7.5. The difference 15. Nope, 7.5. I will extrude this mid plane for 15 millimeters. Okay. And now I'm going to do some cool filleting. So I'll start the fillet command. I select this 7.5 millimeters. And then I select this, and it doesn't like it. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the 3D preview off. No, I don't want that. I'm going to go around, select all of those, turn it back on. Oh, I think I know what the problem is. I think that this needs to be, oh, it is 7.5. Yeah, I did that. You know what? I think this needs to be more. We'll make this an 8. I'll make this back into a 10. Let's see now, will it take a 7.5 mil fillet? It will. There you go. Did it. Okay, now pattern these two features on the other side. And now I'll sketch on this plane. I'll bring these two in. I'll make these 2 points vertical. So now I fully define this. Okay, and then I'll imprint this, Control A, B, to turn into geometry. Anyway, I want it to sweep, and this is my path. Okay, that looks like a decent shackle, doesn't it? I think it does. Okay. Now I want to get a plane going 350 millimeters away from that surface in reverse. Okay, and I want to mirror my entire part, this part. Okay, that's my second shackle. Done. Okay. Okay, so now I'll make a precision section view, precise section view. This plane, where am I? Yeah, I want to see. Okay, and then I'm going to design on that same plane, project these to sketch, and then proceed, lock them. Okay, so now I'll design my chain links. Slot, so 10.5. Okay. That goes there. I want to know this distance, 147, huh? Let's get that parameter. So I want to have how many links? I want to have 4 links, right? So this should be D17 fifths, if I am correct. That's my chain link. And as with before, with the sketch selected, I select the plane. It says along path. Yep, cool. I'm just gonna do a 6 millimeter circle there. Start my sweep. Use my latest sketch as the path. No, not that one. Okay. First chain link. Ah, there's the problem with my reasoning. So the distance I want to cover, oh man, chains are hard to do. This was meant to be a fun video, and I'm doing chain length math. Okay, you know what? Let's do it right. Okay, let's see now. Do we have a couple of chains that look correct? Well, I mean, these chains look awesome, but are they where they're supposed to be? Let's see. What a linear pattern this along the z-axis. Spacing. I want to say twice the d25. That didn't work. Let's open that. Where's my 6? D27. Yeah. 1, 3, 3. D27. Oh, come on. Yeah, B millimeters. So that's D30. And then I need a linear pattern of this along the z-axis. 2 instances. That's D30. Okay. Oh, what is this? Ah. Okay. I think I got it. So this needs to be D24 plus 6 divided by 4. Minus 6? I'm getting there. I will not do the math this time, guys. I will do it by eye. I was afraid that would happen, because that means this needs to be 1.5. That's it. That's how you make that chain. Okay. Whew. Okay, so we made this Tensegrity table look spot on. Okay, cool. Now let's give it a glass top. Okay, so this is the glass top. Easy peasy, this one. Yeah, well, 50 will do. It's too much. 900? Yep, 9, yeah. 875. Cool. And extrude for 10 millimeters. So that's a glass top. Okay. So now I'm just going to design a wine glass here. It's going to be fun. Designing a wine glass on the fly. I mean, trying to rush things is the universal method for success, isn't it? That's 3 millimeters. That's 19 millimeters. And that is flying on like so. Okay. I'm going to linear pattern this direction. Yep, 2 instances, spacing 3 millimeters again in the direction. When I do this, also be able to do this. I mean, I'll go with that for now. And I will give it a small fillet there on the bottom. Okay. So that's my wine glass. there. Now I want to make these two, yeah, coincident, that works. The second one going. That coincident. Okay, okay. So guys, let's save everything, and where are we gonna save it? Okay, so guys, this is a tensegrity table with a couple of wine glasses, right? We discussed the principle. This chain holds the weight, and these three wires become in tension when the top tries to become misaligned to the bottom. Okay, so what am I going to do next? Well, I'm going to close this off, and then I'm going to open another assembly, which I call room. Look what this is, guys. It's a complete room, right? Okay, let's get the coffee table out of there, and let's get the candles out of there. And you know what? I'm going to leave the vase in, right? I'm leaving the vase in, and I'm going to bring in the coffee table we just designed. Okay, yeah, finish, and I will table goes, and the vase. Where's the vase gonna go? The vase. That surface and this surface are coincident. So the vase can go somewhere like there. And here's two tall Toby's assembly piece. So now we have a living room with our Tensegrity table in. And now we're going to send to render, guys. Let's see how Keyshot works. So full disclosure, I'm a complete noob in Keyshot, and I do not understand the principles of photography and light scattering and all that, but I can give you a couple of pointers to make relatively decent product renders in Keyshot, which, by the way, comes for free with Alibre design. You don't get the animation tools in Keyshot, but for static images, you can do whatever you like. So first of all, turn on the GPU rendering if you have it. Massive difference. Then you go to model sets, you select your top level assembly, and you move it, because you might need to rotate it into place, right? And in my case, I need to go, okay, so rotation minus 90. And I snap to ground. Oh, and okay. So now let's start assigning materials. I want paint, rough paint. Okay, there's my walls. Okay, that's rough paint for the wall. Okay, and that needs to be dark stained wood. That needs to be ash wood. And the floor, how do I do the floor? Oh, floor. Okay. Do wood planks. Yes. Okay. Let's do this for the couch. Will that work? No. Can I put it on the couch? I didn't, did I? Yeah, no, that's correct. Okay, I want to select the legs of Toby's. Select these 4 legs. Make it aluminium. Brushed. Oh, I don't know what color to make them. I'll go for this gold. Okay. Now let's do our Tensegrity table. So wood, procedure. Wood, I like ash wood. Yes, link them together. Do our wires and stuff now. How do we do that? Let's go to a Tensegrity. I want to select I want to select the hooks, the eye bolts, and go to stainless. Oh, errors. Nickel plated basic. Well, that worked. Let's do the wires. Find something that works there. Okay, so I'll just go for steel brushed. I'll have to do, and I'll do the chain polish. No, I'll do that brushed as well. Okay, so now glass, frosted glass. No, green frosted. That's that. And for the glasses, I'm going to do gemstone. Diamond there, one diamond there. Yeah. I need to do the couch. How am I going to do the couch, man? Doesn't work. Cloth and leather. A couch. Oh, there you go. That worked. Yes. You know what? All of the pillows get this. Okay. And the base support with the legs gets a dark. Yeah, that's mahogany. Yes, I like that. And base and the back get a leather. Do they? Oh, and I forgot. I want to do a solid gray glass for the glass stuff. Okay. So that's how you assign materials in Keyshot. It's dead easy. And then you just click render. And where am I rendering? Let's render to the desktop. So if you were a Keyshot expert, you would have cringed massively by now, right? But the very point of this exercise is to show you that I'm not a Keyshot expert, and I did something. I did a thing. I made a photorealistic render of a product, which I can show to a customer. And that's the beauty of it, right? You can download materials that other people have made and, that look cool. And you can do all sorts of stuff, and you will get a photorealistic render that you can show somebody. Massively powerful. A lot better than the rendering in Fusion, for example. And if you're a photography nerd and you know what all of these things do, which I'm not and I do not, you can get images that's really hard to see that it's not an actual photograph. I mean, Keyshot is used by multinational companies to get photorealistic renders that are spot on. There are examples online, for example, of the Mercedes-Benz Formula One team doing renders of their F1 car with Keyshot, and the results are amazing, right? But again, I'm relatively rubbish at it, and I still got that done. And I'll see you again when this is finished. So that's it, guys. The render is done. You just click on the green check mark, and it will have been saved with this file name up here. So I hope you liked it. If you did, hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.